Hermann Hesse, a prominent German writer, achieved great acclaim with the publication of his novel Narcissus and Goldmund in 1930. This work, which would eventually contribute to Hesse receiving the Nobel Prize in Literature, delves into the philosophical exploration of human duality through the lens of an allegorical fairy tale set in a vaguely medieval world. Hesse's narrative introduces two central characters who embody Nietzsche's concept of the Apollonian and Dionysian dichotomy, representing the conflicting forces of reason and intellect versus the primal pursuit of physical pleasure and earthly desires. At the heart of the story is Goldmund, a young and captivating individual who commences his journey as a novice in a monastery nestled within the German countryside during the Middle Ages. Motivated by a desire to atone for his mother's alleged transgressions, as perceived by his father, Goldmund aspires to become a monk. Within the walls of the monastery, he forms a friendship with Narcissus, an equally alluring figure, but slightly older. Despite their connection, the two men recognize the fundamental contradictions within their natures. As Goldmund ventures beyond the confines of the monastery and encounters a gypsy girl in a nearby village, he undergoes a transformative experience that unveils his unsuitability for the monastic life. This revelation crystallizes the duality he has long grappled with in his relationship with Narcissus. The older man, content with a cloistered existence of intellectual pursuits, withdraws further into solitary contemplation, relegating his connection with Goldmund to a purely intellectual level. In contrast, Goldmund chooses to depart from the monastery and embarks on a journey as a wanderer, embracing a life of freedom and spontaneity. Prior to his departure, he receives guidance that he must seek his mother, not necessarily in a literal sense, but rather in a psychological and emotional pursuit. For a period, Goldmund finds employment as a scholar in the castle of a count. It is here that he engages in seductive relationships with both of the count's daughters, yet his true affections lie with Lydia, the elder daughter. Hesse's Narcissus and Goldmund intricately explores the complexities of human existence, interweaving themes of self-discovery, personal liberation, and the timeless conflict between reason and instinct. The narrative unfolds as a profound exploration of the human psyche and the myriad paths one may choose to traverse in the quest for identity and fulfillment. After the Count expels Goldmund from the castle due to his scandalous adventures, Goldmund resumes his nomadic lifestyle. The world becomes his playground, with life offering him ease and pleasure as he journeys on the road. Women are irresistibly drawn to him because of his striking appearance, resulting in a long list of conquests that reaches 50. However, amidst this seemingly idyllic existence, not everything is perfect. During his travels, Goldmund finds himself entangled in a tragic incident. When a fellow traveler attempts to steal a gold coin gifted to him by Lydia, Goldmund, driven by guilt, ends up taking the man's life. Troubled by his actions, he seeks solace and confesses his sins to a priest. In the midst of his confession, his attention is captivated by a sculpture of the Virgin Mary within the church. Enchanted by its beauty, Goldmund sets out to find the skilled woodcarver behind the masterpiece, Master Niklaus. Impressed by Goldmund's dedication, Niklaus agrees to become his mentor and teach him the art of sculpture. Within a year, Goldmund learns everything he can from Niklaus and embarks on creating his own sculpture, an image of the Apostle John, whose face he models after Narcissus. For Goldmund, being an artist holds profound significance as it bridges the gap between the Apollonian and Dionysian aspects of existence. Artists have the ability to transform the raw experiences of the physical world into forms that appeal to the intellect. However, Goldmund becomes disillusioned when he discovers that Niklaus primarily works for commissions and financial gain rather than artistic glory. This realization prompts Goldmund to abandon his ambitious project of crafting his own version of the Virgin Mary, symbolizing the maternal figure he has been searching for. Determined to seek the universal mother in life rather than in art, Goldmund resumes his wandering. His new journey leads him to plague-stricken villages, where he becomes captivated by the stark and brutal reality of piled-up corpses. Despite the devastation, the deserted farms offer an abundance of food, and Goldmund and his companions stay to indulge in a temporary feast. Tragedy befalls him when his lover, Helene, is raped by a villager and infected with the plague through a bite. In an unexpected turn of events, Goldmund fights the rapist, and he is bewildered to see Helene observing the altercation with desire in her eyes. Inspired by her expression, Goldmund envisions his next artistic endeavor, an embodiment of a passionate Eve. Hesse's Narcissus and Goldmund continues to delve into the depths of human existence, delving into themes of passion, art, and the eternal struggle between the body and the mind. Goldmund's artistic journey serves as a vehicle for self-discovery, allowing him to explore his desires, confront his fears, and seek meaning in a world of duality and ever-changing experiences. Following Helene's tragic death, Goldmund becomes disheartened by the emergence of anti-Semitism fueled by the plague, with Jews being unjustly blamed for the infection. In the midst of this turmoil, Goldmund finds himself falling in love with Rebecca, a Jewish woman who resists his advances. This situation prompts him to question the nature of God, much like the biblical figure of Job. The weight of his past catches up with him when he is arrested and condemned to death. To his surprise, the priest who arrives to hear his confession is none other than Narcissus, now known as John, the abbot of the monastery. The two men engage in a profound conversation about the presence of evil and suffering in the world and grapple with the question of God's role in allowing such hardships. For Narcissus, this inquiry lies at the core of faith, while for Goldmund, art becomes a means to transcend and find meaning within this reality. Returning to the monastery, Goldmund embraces his role as an artist, striving for personal perfection through his creative expressions. Initially, he crafts decorative pieces for the abbey, but his wanderlust soon resurfaces. However, upon venturing out into the world again, Goldmund realizes that age has caught up with him, diminishing his attractiveness to women. This realization devastates him, and he prepares to face his impending demise. In a poignant moment, Narcissus and Goldmund express their profound love for each other, a love rooted in intellectual and platonic connection. Goldmund declares that in death, he will finally reunite with his mother. Although initially celebrated upon its publication, Hermann Hesse's Narcissus and Goldmund experienced a decline in popularity after World War II. However, it found renewed appreciation among individuals involved in the counterculture movements of the 1960s, as his ideas resonated with the anti-establishment sentiments and societal shifts occurring during that era. Hesse's work, noted for appealing to both underground and mainstream audiences, reflected the discontent and rejection of industrial civilization shared by disillusioned youth at the time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.